A reading from the Gospel of John. Thomas, who was called the Twin, one of the 12, was not with them when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he said to them, "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hands, and put my finger in the mark of the nails and my hand in his side, I will not believe." A week later, his disciples were again in the house, and Thomas was with them. Although the doors were shut, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it in my side. Do not doubt, but believe." Thomas answered him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have come to believe." It probably feels rather curious to hear an Easter story 4 days before Christmas as Advent draws to a close. But this is the day that the Church remembers Saint Thomas, often and rather unfairly called Doubting Thomas. I don't think he had doubts, at least no more doubts than anyone else has. I think Thomas was concerned to make sure that his friends understood what good news really looked like, because Thomas had worked out that good news was news that carried wounds. He wasn't there the first time Jesus appears to the 11 apostles after the resurrection, and I can picture the other 10 babbling wildly with excitement at him, but not telling him the one thing that he needed to hear to confirm that this wasn't some kind of mass hallucination or some kind of charade or acted out fantasy. What he needed to hear to be sure that it was Jesus himself brought back to life was that it was the wounded Jesus, the Jesus who carries the pains of the world literally in his body. They don't manage to tell him that in any articulate way, but the next time round, he's present and he gets to see it. Jesus shows him the scars, and without having to put his hand in them, Thomas is very happy to say, "My Lord and my God." It's odd hearing Easter stories in Advent, but it's very helpful, I think, because we are preparing to remind ourselves again of the baby born in Bethlehem, of whom we say, "My Lord and my God." And that's because this baby is going to take on him the pain of the world, from circumcision on the 8th day, without anesthesia, let's be quite clear, all the way through to crucifixion. We worship God incarnate, God made flesh, Emmanuel, God with us. That means that when we suffer, and boy, this year has been a year of really very extraordinary suffering for so many people, we know that when we suffer because of the baby of Bethlehem and the adult Jesus on the cross, we know that God feels our pain, God shares our pain, and that is how, and only how, God can redeem and eventually put aside our pain. That's the Easter story. It's also the most wonderful Christmas gift. Amen.